Hello. I had a question on the group that was when do parents book our classes? So I was sitting here at my computer and I changed my background and I wanted to test things out for tonight. Now, I put a little bit of lipstick. Honestly, this is not that red. If this looks really red, I did not like smear on red lipstick. It is not that red. I don't know. The colors are very vibrant today, I guess. We had a really bad storm just a few minutes ago, and the rain came down. And I wanted to say, you're a VIP kid teacher when you walk around all day in your orange shirt. This is actually not orange, this is pink. But I was sitting here and I wanted to answer a couple questions that were presented on the iPad group. So I'm coming on here just to answer, first of all, when do the parents book? Okay, I have been with VIP Kid I've signed my third contract and I was able to get the raise, which was really awesome. And so I've had a few different experiences, so I can address this question for you. First of all, Sunday night for us at midnight Eastern time. Okay, so if you're not, I'm Eastern Standard Time. So if you're not Eastern, then you can, do the math, which you're probably used to doing. So it's midnight, so I am about 12 hours from Beijing time, which is really nice. When we have the daylight savings times, it turns to 13 hours. So then it gets a little harder for me. But anyway, we're 12 hours different. So it's 12 hours, 12 midnight for us, 12 noon on Monday for them. Okay, and the parents will be booking for the following week. Okay, so when you look at your calendar, for Monday for us is the 8th. For them, it's going to be the 15th. So they are going to be booking for the 15th to the following week. Okay, so they're going to book out for that week from the frenzy. Okay, so that will be Sunday night. Now, what's been happening, which is just within the last few months, we've noticed that people have been booking like Sunday morning, and I'm not sure exactly what time it is, maybe like 8 or 9 a.m. Eastern time. So you'll see like a little mini frenzy, which we sometimes call a flurry. And so, but they're still going to be booking for a week from this week. They're not booking the immediate week coming up. So you want to open up this week and next week in order to get parents to book for you. Now, when I first started with the company, I noticed that I might get a few for the frenzy, maybe a very few, 5 or 6 or something. And I would notice that during the week, I would get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 bookings, and I would get booked during the week. Now, some of these would be short notice, but what I did was I just kept my slots open all week, just the ones that I could teach. I was always advised, do not open more than you can handle, because you never know if it could just happen that, something happens, somebody notices you, and then all of your slots are booked. I don't know how that happens. It never happened to me that all of a sudden I woke up and everything was booked. Even now, I will open as many as I can for the summer, and not every single one of them gets booked. So you can keep the immediate week open, but don't be surprised if you're new that you don't get booked right away. Okay, sometimes it can take a month, 2 months to kind of get your foot in the door. Okay, so the parents will be booking for not this current week coming, but the following week from now. So open your slots. You can open them for this week and for next week. And the best thing is to open the slots that you can teach. Now, when you're first starting out, it's also good if you can open up slots that are like, if you can teach like some overnight hours. I wouldn't suggest right away that you open up, 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. or anything like that to start with, but maybe open a few in the nighttime so that somehow they can see that you're willing to work any odd hours that come up. Okay, and if you're on this live video right now and you have a question, go ahead and ask the question. You can type in the chat box or whatever. If you want to, that would be great. I'm answering, when do parents book? Parents will book for a week from Monday. They will start booking. If you have followers, they will start booking probably 8 a.m. on Sunday morning. I've noticed, I go to church, so I've noticed by the time I get to church, I usually have a few bookings, maybe 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 in the morning. And then at night, there could be another open time. I don't know exactly how they're doing it, and I haven't seen any for sure explanation of what's going on, but I've seen myself get bookings in the morning on Sunday. Then I've seen that I get a few bookings 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And then at 12, by the time noontime, their Beijing time comes, that's usually pretty much it. But there could be still a couple trickles of more classes coming in. And it doesn't mean you won't get any bookings for this coming week. So what I noticed when I first started was if I just left my slots open, I did get booked a few at a time. They would kind of trickle in during the week. And if you can open some short notice, that's good too. I usually don't open short notice until it really is 24 hours ahead of time. All of my short notices, even though I've been with the company over a year and a half, I do not get all of my short notices booked. I've heard the same from other teachers, but I've also heard recently, just reading things even today, that people are saying that the short notices are being booked more frequently, which would be great. I teach a B&M school, so I am teaching during the school year. So my VIPKID hours are in the morning from, 5 to 6:30 in the morning, and then I go to school, and then I usually teach like Friday night and Saturday morning, Saturday night, and a couple on Sunday morning. So that's how I do it. And so now that school is out, I definitely have more slots that I can fill, and I'm trying to get as many classes as I can. My goal is to try and do as much as I can in the morning and to have fewer evening classes. So tonight I only have 2. Last summer I worked usually 5 or 6 Friday night, 5 or 6 Saturday morning, 5 or 6 Saturday night, and then usually 4 is my limit on Sunday, because Sundays are a busy day for us. So I've worked hard, so I'm hoping that this summer, as I open slots, I will get them booked, because I'm not so new anymore. We'll see what happens. So if you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat box. I wanted to also address, how do we do feedback? Okay, some people are switching from a Chromebook to an iPad. So in your iPad HD app, which for me is right here, I have the HD app, and you can click on the HD app, which is where you're teaching from, and you will notice that you have the middle button is your enter class button. Okay, and then you can go home. Here's my home button. Nothing has happened in the last 8 hours. And then you can go to your classes. Let's see. Okay, so here you have your classes, and you will see that you have like a piece of paper. You can click on that. If it's green, that means that let's see, green means that you are done with the feedback. Red means you need to do the feedback, okay? So we have green, we have red. So what you can do is you can click on the red, and then you can do your feedback. You can type in your feedback, or you can also do talk to text. You can type with the virtual, well, what do you call it? The drop down type of keyboard that's right on your iPad, or you can use a wireless iPad as well. So you can put it in this. If you do it on the app, you cannot go back and edit your feedback. You just have to remember that. And if you go off of the app, you lose the feedback. So you're best to just keep proceeding and don't start until you're ready to completely finish your feedback. Now, for unit assessments, you're going to have to go through a browser. Now, you can use Safari, you can use Chrome, you can use other browsers, whichever one you like. I kind of like the Chrome browser, so there's mine. So there I have my Chrome browser, and I can go to my feedback, go to my classroom, I can go to the feedback, and then you can edit if you go through the portal on one of the browsers. Okay, so if you choose to do it that way, you can do that as well. Now, I wanted to mention this Feedback Panda because I know that some people are new. I went a whole entire year without using Feedback Panda, and I had a friend who's a veteran teacher, and she used Feedback Panda, and she kind of encouraged me to do it. It does cost $10 a month, and there is also a way to get that discounted if you refer people, which I think is kind of hard because I don't really know that many people, except for all of my iPad users on the Facebook group. But I'm not really here to try and get customers. I just wanted to share a little bit of um, the what it is all about, and maybe it's something you might want to use, maybe not right now. Maybe you're okay with typing the feedback, which I always was, but now that I've been using it, I really like it because it also saves your feedback. Okay, not only it has like a template. it the template will share a little bit about that lesson. And what I try to do is I'll use the template. It might say, we practice the words neighbor and jobs or whatever. And then we did the letters A, B, C, D. And so then I'll add a little bit, Johnny told me that he has a dog and it sleeps with him at night. I'm just making that up. But, I try to put something in that personalizes it. And then once you get it all in, look, there's my feedback for a girl that I taught earlier today. And it was great to see Candy today. The lesson was focused on behavioral adaptation. She was able to identify animals' behavioral adaptation and describe how these adaptations, whatever, blah, 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 omnivores, herbivores, carnivores, and then it says the whole thing. And I said, thank you. She just gave me like 4 or 5 Apple reviews all at once. So I said, thank you for your kindness to me and everything. So I mentioned that. And so then you can put it in here. You can type it in the Feedback Panda. You can copy the feedback. You can put it back in your browser, and you can do all kinds of things with it. Okay, and so this is through the app. You also have Feedback Panda on, like I have a computer as well, which you can type the feedback, and then you can save it, put it on your in your class or whatever. At first, I didn't want to do it at all, but I realized that it really did save me time. And there are times, I haven't had time to type majorly personal feedbacks, but I still want to make it good. So, you have 5 classes in a row, you have a really busy day, and you really still need to do feedback, and you don't have time to go back to it because you have another job and you have kids, and hey, I might want to make it better and more personal, but this is a way that I can do that and still meet all of my qualifications. And so if you're interested in more information on that, just let me know on the group, and I can tell you more information, or I could private message you, whatever you need, just let me know. So this is called Feedback Panda. I just saw another one, I think it was called Blah Blah ABC or something like that, which is another, it's similar. It costs a little bit less, and so I kind of looked into it. It looks a lot similar. I'm not interested in changing right now because my life is pretty full. So I just kind of was interested in looking at it. But there are other options out there if you're really good at, using your own Google, sheets and everything. You can make your own, I don't know if somebody's trying to message me or what. You can make your own, your own feedback and keep track of it yourself if you're good at that, because this does cost a little bit of money. To me, it's kind of worth it, and I have enjoyed doing it. It also saves all of your feedback so that at some point, if you're interested in going back, then you can do that. So if you're interested in any of that information, everything's dinging. This is live. This is live. I'm getting, messages from everywhere. So I've just gotten to into doing this. So I just figured I'd come on live and answer any questions that anybody might have. For us, it's kind of a Saturday. We just had a big rainstorm, and now the sun is coming back up, and it's kind of hot in here. But I'm kind of working on some things, and I just figured I'd come on live and see if anybody had any questions. I know there's some new people in the group, and some people are switching from their Chromebook and saying, I'm so scared to use my iPad. Honestly, when I first started, I had an older computer and I had my iPad next to me when I was trying to go onto the classes. And I found that my iPad was more reliable than my computer. Then after I had done about 1,000 classes, my husband got me a MacBook Pro off of a Groupon, and the I think the hard drive was bad on it or something. It crashed 3 times. So that's all I had was my iPad, and I didn't have a backup for quite a long time. And it was great. If I was at the last minute running into the room, turning on my iPad, it never failed me once. So that's why I started this group, because I think a lot of people have, mine was something I already had. I didn't even have to go out and buy one. Some people have an iPad, you want to use it for a backup, it's reliable. And if you want to use the iPad for a backup, I would suggest that you would use it, try it. If you have like maybe 2 classes in a row, say, this is the day I'm going to use my iPad. Now you might be afraid, what am I going to do if, what am I going to do if, I'm just checking my messages. What am I going to do if the, I forgot what I was going to say. Does that ever happen on a live video? I was looking at, it said events log. I don't know what is going on. But anyway, I see that there are 3 people watching. So if you have a question, you can go ahead and ask me at any point. I'm just going to say that When I had just the iPad to use, it was very reliable. I also used my iPad when I went on vacation last week, and because my house was full of people, um, the only place that I really could use, which was inside the car. I wasn't driving in the car. It was just the only place that I could go that was quiet and not that I wouldn't disturb people. So I went ahead and did it in the car and it went great. You know, people were, the kids, the little kids, no, they knew no different. Okay. They didn't even notice anything was different. But like a couple of the older kids, I said, I'm on vacation, and I showed them around the neighborhood where I was. So that was pretty cool. So don't be afraid to use it. And if you do have a question, make sure you ask on the group, and I'm sure someone there would help you. So in this live video, I covered how to do feedback on your iPad. Okay, and we talked about using the iPad, using the HD app. You want to always have this HD app downloaded onto your iPad, and then you're going to go to the middle button here, and that's where your class is going to be. You cannot enter the class until 30 minutes before class. It has to be exactly 30 minutes. And someone said that the class is ending at 28 minutes. Now, if you can go ahead and keep teaching after 28 minutes and wrap it up, go ahead and wrap it up and then watch the playback. See what happens at that 28-minute mark. I'm guessing that that's just, you know, for their own bookkeeping, but I imagine that the video will continue. But check it out, see what happens. But as long as you get 28 minutes, that's more than the 25, so you should be fine. All right, so I hope this was helpful for you, and if you have any questions, be sure to ask. I was just sitting here at my computer, and I figured I would answer the questions live, so I will see you on the group. Thank you for watching.